Masonry paints are designed purposefully for use on exterior walls. It can be used on brickwork, concrete, stone, lime, plaster, pebble dash and cement render. Just before we get to the types of masonry paint, here is a brief description of exactly what paint is. All paints are made from a pigment, the color of your choosing, a binder, either natural or chemical that keeps the paint together and offers certain protection in some cases, and a vehicle. This carries the pigment and binder and allows you to coat a surface with the paint. The vehicle will either be absorbed by the surface or evaporate, leaving the binder and the pigment behind, creating the painted surface. In most masonry paints, it is different binders that change the paints. Acrylic and mineral binders, for example. Let's look at the different types of masonry paint to understand this further. Acrylic masonry paint is the most commonly available. They are water-based paints with an acrylic binder that provides brilliant protection for the outside of your building. These water-based paints come in a huge variety of colors and offer protection against water and weather. If your home already has a layer of masonry paint, there is a very good chance it is acrylic. Mineral masonry paints were first invented in the 1900s by a paint chemist in Germany. A chemical reaction in this paint allows it to knit itself into the masonry of the building. This means that this masonry paint is extremely durable but very breathable as well. Rather than just coating the surface like acrylic masonry paint, this becomes part of the surface. The only downside to this masonry paint is that it can be tricky to get hold of, and it is often more a higher price than acrylic paint. However, it does last longer, so the cost can be justified. Limewash has been used on homes for hundreds of years. Most of us have seen limewashed houses all over the UK. It is the traditional way of protecting the exterior of a building against the elements and has worked well for hundreds of years. The issue with limewash, though, is that it needs to be reapplied every few years or so. It can become unstable if it isn't repainted. Most modern paints come with 15 years guarantee. There are also oil-based masonry paints that are a good choice in certain circumstances. For example, oil-based paints are shower-proof in 30 minutes. They also dry in an hour and can be used in colder conditions than water-based paints. So, you can use oil-based paints in the winter, for example. Oil-based paints have much better stain-blocking properties, so you can cover stains or use them on garden walls that don't have damp-proof courses, without watermarks bleeding through. There are some downsides to oil-based paints, though. Firstly, they are more expensive than water-based. They are also harder to clean up. They require specialized cleaning solutions, and worse for the environment than water-based. The differences between textured and smooth paint are that one is smooth and one is textured. Most textured paint has silica sand added to it to provide a textured look. So the paint itself is completely the same as the smooth paint. It is the sand that offers the texture.